Hello and welcome back to Let's Play Victoria 2 Historical Flavor Mod, where we are playing as Ethiopia. I'm not going to sugarcoat it. The state of the world in the year of our Lord 1880 is a little bit weird. Most notably, the Kingdom of Italy just formed decades after it did in real life, under the domination of the Kingdom of the Two Sicilies. Only immediately thereafter, Austria-Hungary declared war on Italy to release Genoa. And only Genoa. You would think if it were anyone, it would be the Papal States, but, who am I to complain? Meanwhile, Persia has decided to join in on the picking at the Ottoman corpse, seeing as how the Ottomans no longer hold any land at all in Europe, with the Balkans being divided amongst several different principalities. Most interestingly, this weird, ugly-looking Yugoslavia, which was formed by Serbia and Montenegro. Every country in the Balkans, except for Greece, which is aligned with the British, is aligned with Russia. Russia has formed an alliance with France against their common enemy, Germany. But the British, having dropped the ball pretty badly on letting Russia do whatever it wanted in the Black Sea region, has decided to back the Germans. Now, at this point, that's about as developed as the alliances are going to get. Until the technology is discovered, the culture technology is discovered that permits great wars, we will not see more than one great power in one alliance at any one given time. And we have the large chunks of the Ottoman Empire, which have been taken over by Ethiopia. So yeah, usually the weirdest thing that happens in a Victoria 2 game is done by the player, but, it's worth a mention anyway, because, hell, I'm proud of it. And in the meantime, we are about to move our capital to Addis Ababa, further south. Now, if I have one complaint with the way that HFM and HPM handle Ethiopia, there's not enough emphasis placed on the vast cultural changes that were brought about by the shift of the center of Ethiopian political life to the south. This was particularly important in terms of the impoverishment of Tigray, but a game can't necessarily cover everything, but I feel as though there should be some cultural consequences, at least in terms of, increased militancy or something of the like. But in any case, I'm going to take the prestige game and the research points. What is especially helpful is that when we get our next westernization tech, which will be industrial progress, which will be enough to get us all the way to westernizing, it will be built in Shua, which is a much more useful place to build a factory than Tigray, which just, kind of doesn't quite have the population for it. Yeah, we have one factory right now with basically nobody in it. Just 10 craftsmen. So, yeah, when we actually do have an industrial base, so probably next video, I will explain more in detail how the factory system in Victoria 2 works. But for now, we are going to start collecting a little peace dividend. We are almost there to getting the last technology we need, just a few hundred more points. So, in just like about a month or two. Now, we are still exporting quite a bit of coffee. I wonder if we are getting any iron or coal from our common market. I suspect we are not. In which case I may need to conquer myself a bit of iron, because that's important too. No need to purchase foreign warships. We will be fully westernized soon enough. Yes, industrial progress. Alright, we are there. We can now press the Ethiopia, well, not quite wins the game. We're not China, but the Ethiopia doesn't lose the game button. All right. Now I've westernized earlier than this. I think the earliest I've ever westernized as an Ethiopian miner. In the practice game I played a bit before this recording. I was able to manage it in about 1870. So here, yep, we have embraced westernization. Our country is under intellectual assault by modernity and the Western world. In the fields of modern technology, industry, and military theory, the old traditions and institutions no longer serve us as they used to. Everywhere we turn, Western influences spread like wildfire through our nation, our population, and our souls. If we are to remain what we always have been and not become something else entirely, now is the time to assume control of our own destiny. It has become apparent to the leading members of our intellectual elite that the only way to turn the tide on the Western Leviathan is to swim with it, for, as Sun Tzu says, the reed that bends before the wind also offers a form of resistance. I have a feeling this was written with Japan in mind. So, yes, our research focus has now shifted, and we have gained a population focus. Pretty soon, we are going to want to encourage craftsmen. I think but I think we may still want... we want to keep flexibility in our trade policy. We need it to be high if it needs to be. How much money do we have for constructing factories? We should probably... Here's the one annoying thing about losing Bornu is we lost a bit of cotton, but we still do have some. So I should probably build another textile mill, since we are producing some cotton. And in the meantime, we need to start our research. At this point, the most notable thing is we're starting off way behind. We do get a behind bonus, so we will research things faster than we would be if we were researching them in a timely fashion. But we are going to need to, above all else, boost our research points. So we are going to start by researching idealism. We should have that within the next couple of years. We'll need to research idealism and also some education technology. That's the first thing we need to do if we are to catch up. In the meantime, should probably boost intellectuals in here as well for now. We'll get to boosting craftsmen as soon as we have more factories in place. In the meantime, Shua has some grain. We will build a liquor distillery. And so we're having our equivalent of the Berlin Conference starting to happen. Yeah, Being at 35, that's significantly behind where I want to be. I often start immediately as one of the secondary powers when you'll westernize it as Ethiopia. That's the big problem with that was, first of all, we lost a lot of our army, and more importantly, the prestige drain we got as a result of Tawadros II being our emperor. In the meantime, yeah, establishing a protectorate would, at the moment, incur too much infamy. Also, let's lower our taxes and our tariffs as well, since we want to grow our businesses. Meanwhile, in Hausaland, that's where much of our cotton is grown. Although, not sure if the pops here are literate enough to be craftsmen. Yeah, let's take a look at North Somaliland. Yeah, literacy is higher here. Literate pops are more likely to convert to craftsmen and clerks. Yeah, our literacy is about half of what I want it to be at this point. Again, that's one of the big problems with forming the empire as Tawadros. So, we now decide a colonial policy for our new for our country, which is now a colonial power. So, we can either take settlement and gain a shit ton of militancy and among unaccepted cultures. I don't want to take that kind of militancy boost. Can go with indirect rule, and I'm going to go with the prestige boost from Mission to Civilize. There are some benefits to it, most notably a greater increase in increase in both assimilation rate and education efficiency. So that's something that's quite worth doing. We have a fairly sizable middle class, really, which is good. At present, we don't have any capitalists at all running our factories. So yeah, we're going to be heavily reliant on the state to begin with, which, again, is kind of how it worked in real life. So we can now enact our very first proper political reform. So let's take a look at our movements. And there are no movements in particular right now. We can enact a few political reforms. We can get rid of serfdom, or we can get rid of slavery. Both of them are something we're going to want to do. First things first, though, let's outlaw slavery. That's probably gonna cost us a bit in tax revenue to start with, but in the long run, it is financially worth it. And meanwhile, the colonial powers are descending on Africa. Britain is going to annex the Sultanate of Egypt, which they did de facto in real life. It was not like officially the case, but in real life it pretty much was the case. It would appear that a couple of West African nations have declared war on European colonial powers. That's probably not going to go well for them. France is also annexing Vietnam. Yeah. Slave economy, outlawing slavery, that's... we took a bit of a dip in terms of our treasury. Let's raise our taxes just a bit to cover it. Yeah, that should do it. Yes, overall, we have very, very few craftsmen to industrialize with. So we're going to have to become literate and then industrialize. That in order, that's what we need to do. So yeah, we got a temporary boost in our ruling party after our reforms were passed, and now, you know, pretty much everybody else has made gains. In the upper house, at least. Yeah, so we now have a direct border with Britain. Not the greatest thing in the world. Gendarme, and yeah, that description hasn't been written in. No need to ally ourselves with any of the uncivs. Meanwhile, France is seeking to release, is seeking to gain something out of China and also conquer Algeria. In the meantime, Yeah, Japan is trying to it's not officially the Russo-Japanese War, but it's a Russo-Japanese War, and I don't think Japan is going to win this one. In the meantime, Britain and Greece are attempting to take Eastern Macedonia away from Bulgaria. We'll see how that goes. Yeah, they are presently at war with quite a few people. Our first factory in Shua is complete, and I think we should start encouraging craftsmen here. Now, the area known as Bahr el Ghazal in South Sudan had long been the source of goods that Darfur would trade to Egypt and North Africa, especially slaves and ivory. Paid tribute to Darfur, these were the chief articles. So, gain Fasher for Abyssinia and Wa. Yeah, I'm not going to cede anything. Okay. Our borders got a little bit uglier. But we are slowly, very slowly but surely, rebuilding our army after that very, very long and unexpectedly costly war. And we will see how well we do on that front next time. Until next time, I have been Marukati, you have been you. Remember to like, share, and subscribe, and we will see how well we fare in the scramble for Africa now that we have joined the ranks of what the Western nations regard as civilized. See you next time.